On Monday, the 20th of January 2020, one of Nigeria's leading media outfits, This Day Media Group, celebrated its Silver Jubilee anniversary with a gala night at the Eko Hotel and Suites in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. Established on the 22nd of January 1995 by Prince Nduka Baigbena, This Day Media Group has carved a niche for itself in business and political reportage, as well as in media innovations in Africa. Today, the group dominates strongly as a trailblazer in both print and broadcast journalism, with the daily impact of This Day newspaper and Arise TV. The event, to celebrate 25 years of its existence, featured presentation of awards to different individuals and corporate organizations that have distinguished themselves in different fields. It also featured the premiere preview of Africa's first global streaming service, the Arise Beyond Streaming. In attendance at the event were the chairman, This Day newspaper, Prince Nduka Baigbena, the chairman, Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Jim Ovia, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mrs. Aisha Ahmed, former Commonwealth Secretary General, Chief Emeka Anyoko, 93-year-old Pa Adebanjo, CEO and Group Managing Director of Access Bank PLC, Mr. Herbert Wigwe, former Governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, Acting Chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, APC National Chairman, Comrade Adam Soshomole, Hajia Bola Shagaya, Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua, Malam Nuhu Ribado, former EFCC Chairman, the publisher of the Guardian newspapers, Lady Medin Alex Ibro, President Dangote Group of Companies, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Mr. Femi Otedola, Mr. Donald Duke, CEO Guarantee Trust Bank PLC, Mr. Segun Agbaje, former Managing Director, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Mr. Timi Alaibe. Also in attendance were the Chairman of Vision International, Basharu Dele Momodu, Pastor Itwa Igodalo, the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Nation newspapers, Mr. Wali Edu, the Chairman and CEO, Biscon Communications, Prince Basil Atilo, among other distinguished guests. In the welcome address of the Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of This Day Media Group, Prince Nduka Baigbena, he appreciated all who took out time to celebrate with the organization at 25 and acknowledged the presence of eminent personalities at the event.
Welcome to the commemoration of our first 25 years. We are here to thank each and every one of you for being here and for joining us in reshaping the African story.
Thereafter, Mr. Paul Collins provided a detailed background of the live streaming service, as well as a premiere video shown to guests to further share some more insight on what the live streaming service entails.
Beyond streaming is a way to tell stories beyond video, beyond entertainment. We take a topic in the news, in the zeitgeist, in the world, and in our history, and we explore it in all angles: print, video, audio, music, gaming, to deliver a unique entertainment experience across your preferred device, powered by artificial intelligence. Why now? This day has spent the last 25 years shaping opinions and using the power of media to educate, to empower, and to uplift Africans and the black race wherever they are on the planet. We want to spend the next 25 years using the power of technology to share our stories in a way that has not been possible before.
Without further ado, the award presentation, which was in two categories, the People's Choice Award and the Editor's Choice Award for the decade, was set in motion. The People's Choice Award for Banker of the Decade was won by Mr. Godwin Emefiele of the Central Bank of Nigeria, while the Editor's Choice Award for the Banker of the Decade was presented to Mr. Herbert Nwigwe, GMD Access Bank.
This award that is in recognition of his contributions to the growth, the development, and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. He says I should pledge his commitment to ensuring that the financial system continues to support business and support economic growth. Thank you.
Again, my most sincere gratitude to this day, and of course its publisher, Mr. Nduka Obaibina, and of course to all Access warriors who are here today and all our customers. I think we deserve a round of applause, please. But I think, more importantly, Nigerian banks are criticized by several people, but as you go across the continent, quite frankly, it's an industry you should be extremely, extremely proud of. We're doing better than most countries and their financial sectors cannot compare anything to what we have in Nigeria. We're creating global brands out here today amongst the top banks here, whether it's the great Zenith being led by its founder and our godfather, Mr. Jimovia, GT Bank being led by Mr. Shegu Agbaje, of course the leaders of UBA, etc. So for me, it's not just about access today. It's about celebrating all of our competitors as we begin to build strong global brands that show that as Africans, we can truly create great things. I think we should celebrate ourselves today.
The People's Choice Award for Governor of the Decade was won by former Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, while the Editor's Choice Award for the Governor of the Decade was won by former Anambra State Governor, Mr. Peter Obi.
This award of recognition by the publishers of these day newspapers, and I'd like to thank them for it. But the truth must be told, this award is for the governor, and therefore this is an office of public trust that I have been truly honored to hold on behalf of the people of Lagos State. But I hope the award ceremony go on very successfully, and I congratulate all the recipients for their contributions that have been deserving of honor and recognition. I'd like to conclude by saying that what we did in the past is little compared to what is possible today and tomorrow. So all of the workers of Lagos, the law enforcement, the private sector must come around and embrace the government of Lagos State now so that we can push Lagos to even greater heights. Lagos must continue to prosper.
This day family, for this award, mine is just grateful that it's coming when I wasn't in office any longer. So I accept it. But in accepting it, I'm dedicating it to all those that made it possible for us to achieve the little success we had in Anambra State. And finally, to continue to urge all of us here that the work of building a better society for our children is still far away. We need to work hard. And always remember those of us who are politicians in your prayers. And the number one prayer is that we use public money for public good. Thank you and God bless you.
The Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, won the Editor's Choice Award as the Minister of the Decade, while the People's Choice Award for Minister of the Decade was won by former Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
I'd like to thank the Duke, Nduka, and the management and staff of this day. The Duke, I wasn't expecting this. And I'm sure you know why I said I wasn't expecting this. So when it was announced, I was surprised. I therefore expressed my gratitude to you, editors and management of this day and the staff of this day.
The People's Choice Award for Philanthropist of the Decade went to Mr. Femi Otedola, while the Editor's Choice Award for Philanthropist of the Decade was won by Mr. Tony Elumelu.
Firstly, I give thanks to God Almighty for His blessings. I would love to dedicate this award to the millions of children out there who are in the areas of conflict, who have no food to eat, who are not guaranteed of a future. I pray to God Almighty that He will bring succor to these children. I thank you very much. It's been a wonderful evening. God bless.
This was immediately followed by a breathtaking performance by Nigerian French singer and songwriter Bukola Elemide, popularly known as Asha. The next sets of awards followed next. The People's Choice Award for Entrepreneur of the Decade was won by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, while Folashade Mike Adenuga received the Editor's Choice Award for Entrepreneur of the Decade on behalf of her father, Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr.
Prince Nduka Obagbena, the board, management and staff of this day, once again congratulations. And I think I would like to dedicate this award to my daughters for giving me all the support, and also to the entire country, to Nigerians for making me work hard to be the entrepreneur of the decade. Thank you very much.
On behalf of my father, Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr., who regrettably was unable to join us this evening for this ceremony, it's a heart full of gratitude that I thank the editors of this day for bestowing such a prestigious award on him. But more importantly, I would like to thank Nigeria for always embracing her son and providing him with a bounty of opportunities. Thank you very much.
The People's Choice Award for Institution of the Decade went to the Central Bank of Nigeria, while the Editor's Choice Award for the Institution of the Decade went to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The awards were received by Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mrs. Aisha Ahmed, and the Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu.
I want to dedicate the award to no other person than Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, for the courage. He has overdose of courage, for tenacity, for consistency, for his unflinching support. That give me the gut to do what I'm doing. I am telling you, we are starting again. This award will encourage me to approach the fight against corruption in a different way. And you will see the milestone will go. I'm telling you. We will increase the number of cells we have in the EFCC and increase the zonal head, the zonal offices. So help us, the bankers in particular, help us to sanitize the system so that you have a better business. You end up being the receiving end. I'm telling you, at all times, the banks are the receiving, the end. You end up losing a lot of money. You help us to rehabilitate these Yahoo boys so that we can bring them back into the system so that they can be helpful to the system. I also want to dedicate it to all Nigerian supporters and members, management and staff of the EFCC. Thank you very much.
Next was the presentation of an award to the Person of the Decade. The award was presented to former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and received by the former Managing Director, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Mr. Timi Alaibe.
I wouldn't make this ceremony, and he asked me in his usual humble way to represent him and receive this award. In communicating that, he had asked me to profusely thank the Duke, Prince Nduka Bagbena, and the staff, management, and the board of these day newspapers. He is very not the type of person that likes to receive awards, but this one was particularly humbling for him, especially at this time that he's no longer in office. And he has asked me to communicate to all of you that he would have really liked to be here, but that it was because of prior engagements that he couldn't make it. To this day, keep the flag flying. Another 25 years we'll be here. For some of us who are associated with this day, I believe that we'll continue to give support to this flagship newspaper, and of course, the Arise table that has come on board. Thank you very much.
After that, American Grammy and Academy Award-winning singer John Legend entertained guests with some of his hit songs.
I just need somebody who wants to slow dance with me. One young lady wants to slow dance with me tonight. They didn't tell me I was shy here in Nigeria. This lady with the crown on, you want to come slow dance with me? Yeah. She's coming, y'all. Hey, say, I love it. We're slow dancing. Yeah. Come on. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Hey, come on, everybody say. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, yeah. I love it. Pay attention to me, baby. Oh, come on. I love it. I propose on your name? Nicole. Make some noise for Nicole Lagos. Thank you.
Thereafter, Globacom was presented the People's Choice Award for Brand of the Decade, while Guarantee Trust Bank PLC won the Editor's Choice Award for Brand of the Decade. For Bank of the Decade, the People's Choice Award went to Zenith Bank, while Access Bank won the Editor's Choice Award for Bank of the Decade. The People's Choice Award for the CEO of the Decade was won by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, while Mr. Segun Agbaje, the Managing Director of Guarantee Trust Bank PLC, won the Editor's Choice Award for the CEO of the Decade.
For me, today is a very humbling day, actually. For those who know me very well, Alhaji Aliko Dangote is my mentor. So to be receiving an award on the same stage is very humbling, actually. And I hope that I haven't peaked too early in my life and that the next decade will also be as good. My final word about individual awards is that I always find them a bit funny to take them, and that this award really belongs to the board and the staff and management of Guarantee Trust who do all the work. The reality is you can never win an individual award if you do not run a great institution. So for all those who have built this great institution, I thank you, and I promise you the next decade will be an even greater decade for us. God bless you all.
The award for Woman of the Decade was won by Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Mrs. Amina Mohammed. The event was brought to an end with a vote of thanks delivered by the chairman of This Day newspaper, Prince Nduka Obaigbena. From Biscon Communications, it's 25 hearty cheers to This Day Media Group, and big congratulations to all the award recipients.